Hey guys, JdubzRL here. Today I want to try something a little bit different. I was recently watching Leftemure's video where he discovered that the two sides of the field are not exactly symmetrical. And it had me thinking that nobody has actually went out of their way to figure out how big the field is itself. And today, that is what we're going to be finding out. As always, if you enjoy my content, don't hesitate to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications, and let's get right into the video. Let's do it. For this process, I'm going to try a very simple method. Compared to literally measuring the field, I'm going to attempt to gauge a rough estimate of how large the field is by basically how long it takes to travel the distance from one goalpost to the other while traveling at supersonic speed. This should kind of give you an estimate on how large the field is, and I'm actually going to do this with the width of the field as well. So I'm going to go from one boost pad, middle boost pad, to the other at supersonic speed. So I'm going to use mutators to help me with this, obviously, because I want to make sure that I'm moving at supersonic speed the whole way down the field. So I'm going to use the boost strength times 10 to ensure that my car is moving at supersonic speed the whole way down the field. This will make it where I have a constant variable, and then I will time how long it takes to travel the distance, and then I can do some more math from there. But that's the current plan. I'll tell you how it goes. One thing I forgot to mention is that I never figured out how fast the max speed was. And one way I'm going to do that is I'm going to try to score a goal at max speed by just dribbling the ball and holding down boost until I get there, and seeing what the game gives me. And so, yeah, I think that's a very easy method of figuring out what's the max speed a car can move. And yeah, let's see what it says. From the few trials I ran, I managed to get an average speed of 51.58 miles an hour, or 83 kilometers per hour for those that use the metric system. Now to start with the conversion, 51.58 miles per hour is the equivalent to 23.058 meters per second. And I'll take this speed and multiply it by the average time that it took to go the length of the field, which is 4.29 seconds. And also the width as well, which is 3.21 seconds. So my final estimates would be 98.91 meters long and 74.02 meters wide. An important detail to consider as well is that the measurements are only from the outer lines of the field, which means that they do not take the walls to, they don't account for the walls as well. So I only measured from the baseline to baseline pretty much. So that's kind of one big thing, but I didn't really know how to like measure the whole thing, including the walls as well, because going up the curve would just change speeds, and it would make things a little bit weird when it comes to measuring. But I feel like I have a pretty decent measurement, and I'm gonna put it up to one of the developers. He actually made a post about it. I'm about to talk about that in 1 second here. Now, there have been a lot of different people trying to figure out how large the field is in Rocket League. There are no YouTube videos on it, but there are actually a lot of Reddit posts of people making kind of like calculations and stuff here and there, trying to figure out how much this and that. But I did find a few that stuck out to me. One person used a similar tactic that I did. What they did is they went into a match and drove at the ball. They drove the ball at full boost into the net, and they scored a similar mile per hour. They got 51.49. I think mine was 51.48, I believe. Let me check. It was 51.58. So not that different, but then they went into a replay and checked how far they drove in 1 second, which means that in 1 second they drove 75 feet. Which is something different. I didn't actually do that because I don't think I have a way to just measure how far I did. I could have figured it out one way or another, but yeah. But that's one thing. One thing leads to another. But the post from Psionics Dave that I was mentioning earlier, the most important thing is that he mentioned that Rocket League is not a game that focuses on realistic scales. So the numbers that I'm about to say from what he gives us is not going to correlate with anything of what me and the person I mentioned before calculated. What is the same is they mentioned a car is about 144 Unreal units, which is let's see, 144 Unreal units is about 144 centimeters, and 144 centimeters is 1.44 meters. Sorry, I was typing something up. And so to give that into perspective, that is about 4.7 feet, I believe. Let's check this again. I had this pulled up. It's 4.72 feet, yes. Now, Dave doesn't specifically specify exactly which car it is because the post was 10 years ago and I can't go back and look at the image that he was talking about anymore. But I'm going back to do a little bit more research, and I believe he's talking about the Octane, as Sunless Khan did a similar post and he got the same measurements of 144 Unreal units. So I'm going to make the assumption that he's talking about the Octane. And given all of those kind of estimates and stuff that he scaled together, he said that it was 375.5 meters long and 300 meters wide, or 410.6 and 328.2 yards in size. Wow, I mean, this is insanely large, and to give an idea of how large this would be, he states that, believe it or not, if the cars were real size, the field would be larger than 4 football fields. And that's just the length, and 3 football fields wide. It's a game played by rocket-powered cars after all, so you need a lot of room. He also states that another fun fact that the goals would be over 24.5 meters high. Which is definitely interesting, but I find the idea of hitting the goal post almost every single time I shoot, even though it would be 25 meters high, and I still hit crossbar, it's kind of disappointing, and I think it's a big indicator on how badly I need to stick to the training packs, or maybe even a tutorial at this point. But honestly, it's one hell of a study, and it's very interesting. I'm so glad I did it here. Other than that, if there's any type of video ideas you guys want to hear in the future, go ahead, toss them down in the comment sections. I'm honestly just trying to get out new ideas and trying to be the first to do a bunch of the different things. And so yeah, this was a really interesting video for me to make, and I'm just doing my type of thing. I don't know what else to say. Anyways, I hope you guys like and subscribe, turn on post notification, and stick around to continue supporting my content. And I will see you guys around soon. Peace out.